I don't need to do all these lavish things in order for us to have a wonderful time, for it to be joyful, loving, and enjoyable. That's what's important. And ultimately, keeping it simple, meaningful, and enjoyable, it's all about being present. So let's make this Christmas more about presence and less about presents, if you get my meaning. What if you decided that between now and every day leading up to Christmas, you made it your number one priority to enjoy every day and to make the little things meaningful? No matter what time of year you're watching this video, what you're going to learn in this video will help you with anything big that you've got coming up, so that you're not just striving for the future, which can create a sense of overwhelm and stop us being present and just enjoying the journey and enjoying every day. We can get quite anxious and overwhelmed, especially in the lead up to Christmas. But this will apply no matter what you've got coming up. At this time of year, leading up to Christmas, which is the time that we're currently filming this video, a lot of us can get anxious and overwhelmed. And that was definitely the case for me around Christmas. I even found myself with having a mild sense of dread about Christmas. And I wanted to change that. I didn't want to feel that way. It's meant to be about love and joy and peace. And so many of us can feel quite the opposite. So I want to change this for you too. And I'm going to give you 4 really simple tips. They are so simple, and it's really all about reframing the way that we're looking at things. It is all about the way we're thinking about it. And you can do this. And now I can honestly say I feel really good about Christmas coming up. I feel actually excited, but I'm enjoying the journey. I'm enjoying every day, and I'm looking forward to all the little tasks that I need to do without feeling burdened or overwhelmed by them. I'm actually looking forward to them. First of all, we need to catch and change the negative thoughts. So this is all the thoughts and beliefs that you have about Christmas. So even if you apply this to anything else that's coming up, might not be Christmas when you're watching this, but let's use Christmas as the example, since that's coming up for me now, and for many of you who are going to watch this. If you think about all the tasks that you've got to do or that you feel you need to do coming up to Christmas, and what we can do that creates a lot of overwhelm and negative thinking is that we're blowing that up in our minds to be bigger and more important than it needs to be. So, for example, the food that you're going to buy and prepare, and some gifts that you want to get, we can make it in our mind like a burden that it doesn't need to be. It's just a thing. It's just a thing to do. So one thing that I do if I'm feeling any sense of overwhelm or burden, I shrink it down in importance in my mind. It's like I literally make it, instead of feeling like this great big thing in my mind, I shrink it down and just don't make such a big deal about it. Okay, so I'm going to cook some food, I'm going to shop for it. Break it down into the little steps that you need to do and allow yourself to enjoy it. So that brings me to the next point, which is enjoy every day and enjoy the little steps. You can choose to make this a burden and just jobs to do and things to tick off your to-do list, in which case we tend to feel sometimes anxious and overwhelmed, or you can literally enjoy this and enjoy the little tasks just by reframing the way you're looking at it and deciding that you're going to prioritize enjoying every day and making it meaningful. So that's the next point. Make it meaningful. Find meaning in the little things. I find meaning when I think about my loved ones. Instead of feeling burdened by, oh, I've got to go and get all these gifts and I've got to make this food, and I think about the enjoyment for them, and I reframe my thoughts and my attitude from fearful sort of thinking and negative thinking into love. So I think about them when I consider the food that I'm going to make and the lovely time I want to enjoy with them, the gift that I want to give them. By coming back into love, I'm making it meaningful. And then in making every day meaningful and all the little steps in thinking about love, thinking about our loved ones and enjoyment, it's not just thinking about making the day, the event meaningful, but the little daily things, the simple things. Find meaning in the little things. And finally, keep it simple. What's really important? Is it that you have, a lavish table and lavish amounts of presents and things? Well, for me personally, I do not like over-consumerism. And if I let myself go there mentally, I can get almost disturbed about the consumerism and the waste that happens at Christmas. But I'm choosing to not put my attention on that. I've got to stay in my lane. And I just remind myself that I like to keep it simple, and that making it enjoyable and meaningful means that I don't need to do all these lavish things in order for us to have a wonderful time, for it to be joyful, loving, and enjoyable. That's what's important. And ultimately, keeping it simple, meaningful, and enjoyable, it's all about being present. Being present for the whole journey, the lead up and the event. And if I'm all stressed out about trying to make it all perfect, or trying to be lavish, or just getting stressed out because I'm in negative thinking about it, then I'm certainly not being present. So let's make this Christmas more about presence and less about presents, if you get my meaning. So just wrapping up the 4 points, it was to catch and reframe your negative thoughts, to enjoy the little things, to make it meaningful, and keep it simple. I hope that this is really helpful for you. And honestly, these tips are what I apply in my everyday life as well. Especially, I remind myself of these if I find myself mentally going into blowing something up as being too big in my mind to the point where I feel overwhelmed, or maybe even a little pang of anxiety about it. I put these things into practice. I hope that this is helpful for you. Now, if you're watching this on YouTube, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Leave a comment. I would love to hear from you. Let me know what you think of this. And please do share it with anyone that you think will also find this helpful. Make sure you go to my website, kellyhine.com, so that you won't miss any of the great free content that I share and things that I only share with my email list. And when you subscribe, you'll get a great free gift from me that will help you on your journey to enjoying your life more, living your best life. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you next time.